plus in a finals game since Kobe and Shaq did it in 2002. I asked LeBron the same question. Are there elements that you see of both Kobe's game and Shaq's game in your game, and both Kobe's game and Shaq's game and LeBron's game? And if there are, could you describe them?
Those two guys are obviously special. That duo is special together. The best duo we've seen. Multiple championships, but they both are so dominant. I know they had a little sit down. They was talking about they were arguing because they both want to be so dominant. They both want to be great. They both want to win, and that's why they kind of gelled together outside of everything else that you might have heard that they were going through. But those two guys were selfless. They both had a competitive spirit within themselves to build their teams to win. And I think me and Bron is the same way. We're two guys who want to win, no matter the circumstance. We both want to. To make sure that we do whatever it takes to help our team win. And when you got two guys that's selfless, and it's not gonna always be pretty. Sometimes we're gonna argue. Sometimes we're gonna have disagreements, but we know it's coming from the right place. But when you got two guys who want to win as bad as we do and want to be dominant every single game, you have games like tonight. We're two guys able to score the basketball, able to rebound, and able to find guys. So it's rare you see it. We know we have something special with us too, and with this team. We just try to capitalize on it.
You had to match up the pair, you guys and them. Who's Shaq and who's Kobe out of you and LeBron?
He's Kobe because he handles the ball, and I'm Shaq because I play in the post.
Frank was saying no matter who Miami has in their offense, they're just really tough to guard, and obviously put up 39 on you guys in the third quarter. What about their offense kind of forces you guys into uncomfortable positions, and where do you feel you guys can make growth in 2 days?
They just play so free. Everybody's moving, everybody's cutting, everybody on the floor is live, which means everybody just kind of do random things. So it's tough on the defense. You really have to talk, you really have to communicate, you really have to know what schemes you in. And they put a lot of pressure, on the defense. For us, we got to do a better job on, communicating on the defensive end and being in coverage. Talking in the coverage and making sure guys know what we're in. We can't, assume somebody's going to be somewhere. We have to talk and relay the messages and the defensive schemes and the calls to one another, so we know that. So we let the other guy know what we're in, so we don't have too many hiccups and too many mistakes. In that third quarter, we had a ton of open layups, a ton of open threes, and they made us pay.
All right, Kazu? I'm sorry, Dan?
Anthony, all season long, the message has been stay in the moment, don't look too far ahead. But here you guys are, 2 games from the goal that you guys set for yourselves at 12, 13 months ago when the season began. How important is that stay in the moment message for you guys, specifically right now in this moment?
It's huge. I mean, this team have shown, in both games that they're able to, fight back. Even when they're down 20, 30, whatever it is, they're able to fight back.
Should win be more vital for Anthony Davis or LeBron James?
AD. LeBron's got 3. We keep talking about it. He's gone to 10 now. 10. He's got 3. He is career-wise challenging Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and some people think mistakenly, peak-wise, challenging Michael Jordan. The point is, he's one of the greatest 3 players of the modern era, at least. What about AD? Let's talk about what is AD exactly. Is he a power forward, really? He doesn't like playing center? I don't know. If you're a power forward and you can defend the rim, you're kind of in positionless basketball. Throughout the history of basketball, that's kind of a center, right? Let's look at the all-time great power forwards and their legacies. Would Kevin McHale or Kevin Garnett or Dirk Nowitzki be as high on the all-time lists without those championships? I mean, McHale played with Bird, but Nowitzki and Garnett, their legacies greatly benefited from winning those championships. Guys like Charles Barkley and Karl Malone, who never won, like at the time Karl Malone was playing and Barkley was playing, a lot of people were saying, is this the greatest power forward ever? But that's not that their legacies have faded, but their kind of positions on the all-time lists, you know, when people chop it up about basketball, are not mentioned as much as, say, someone like Tim Duncan, who's got 5. Tim Duncan, who's a power forward who, like AD, could defend the rim, so he was really kind of a center, right? Well, if you're talking about real bigs like centers who also defend the paint, how's Patrick Ewing's legacy? It's great. He's an all-time great. I love my favorite player growing up, the Knicks, keeping us respectable every year, a powerhouse. No championship. Did it affect him? When you think about the greatest centers ever, Ewing's on the list, but where on the list? It makes a difference. The fact that David Robinson got one at the end with Duncan makes a difference, especially for the centers. If you're an all-time great, you're expected to have at least one. AD, as a package, as a player, has a chance to be the best who ever did it as a power forward. He's got to win. I mean, he's not going to be in that conversation if he doesn't get a championship. He needs to have that. It's huge. He doesn't have it yet. They didn't make noise in New Orleans, even with some decent teams. They didn't make noise in the playoffs in New Orleans. They're about to win it now, and it's going to make a world of difference in terms of AD's legacy.
Max Kellerman, you're wrong. Totally wrong. First of all, it's going to benefit LeBron exponentially more. If AD were to win a championship, hell, he's Kyrie. He's a superstar in this game that's got his first chip. Congratulations to him and hats off to him. And that's about it. On LeBron's level, I mean, whether he wins or loses, it's catastrophic, or it's very significant in either scenario. Here's the deal. LeBron James is already tied with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, as you pointed out yesterday, is #1 with 10 NBA Finals appearances, okay, in his career. We got that, right? Well, guess what? LeBron is #3 on the list for most NBA Finals losses. I'm sorry. If he were to lose this finals, he would be tied with Elgin Baylor for #2 all-time in finals losses, you know, being eclipsed by only Jerry West, the silhouette, who's had 8 NBA Finals losses and 9 appearances. So to avoid that, that would be a significant thing. #2, think about all the things it would do for LeBron James if he were to win. All of a sudden, there would be people out there, not me, probably not you, but definitely Kendrick Perkins, who's already there, talking about he's the GOAT. That would be further validation of something like that. At the very least, it would warrant, at least in the eyes of many, for him to be in the discussion in comparison to Michael Jordan, because he will have captured his 4th NBA title, but obviously with 3 different teams, with Cleveland, with Miami, Cleveland, and now the Los Angeles Lakers. So that would be very, very significant. Then we've got to take into account the fact that, even with all of those things happening, think about what he does off the court. Think about the things that he's accomplished. Think about Space Jam 2 coming out. Think about all of his endeavors in terms of, you know, him producing content and really establishing himself as a bigwig in corporate America. His aspirations to be an NBA owner someday and things of that nature. The more he elevates his cachet with championship hardware, the more significant he becomes. Whereas with AD, again, you're simply a champion. You've captured your first ring. Congratulations to you. You averaged over 30. You were a monster throughout the playoffs. We get it. You're a superstar talent. But with LeBron James, it transcends beyond the court of play as it pertains to the benefits he can reap from capturing yet another championship. I think it's clear that it's more significant for LeBron James to win this ring.
No, Stephen A., it's not clear. Don't you start with me this morning. I already told you that LeBron James and Michael Jordan are sitting at the same dinner table, and I'm not about to even dive into that discussion.
Jordan's at the head of the table.
I believe that this championship benefits AD more. If you look at what AD had to do just to get to the Los Angeles Lakers and the heat that he took for forcing his way out of New Orleans, signing with Rich Paul, going to L.A., New Orleans they don't want anything to do with Clutch Sports from what I'm hearing, all because of that situation.